Hey my people, how you doing? Hope you're having a damn good day. We're back and I have got some great tactics for you. It's the Real Madrid tactics. These were requested a little while ago and I kind of just haven't been able to make the video. But we're here, I'm going to do it now. It's going to be great as hell. And please don't forget to hit the like button and maybe share the video if you would like. But yeah, we're going to hop into it. Of course, these are the Real Madrid tactics from the Champions League final. And you may notice that there are one or two new faces on the bench. We've got Tchouameni and Rudiger on the bench. Yeah, I kind of like updating my rosters, you know, for the build up to FIFA 23, and yeah, that's just what I've done. So kind of ignore them for now, but we're about to hop into these tactics for you. So off the bat, we've got Vinicius Jr., Benzema, Valverde, who of course starts as the right wing. We've got Luka Modric, Casemiro, and Kroos, of course, that legendary trio. We've got Ferland Mendy, Alaba, Militao, Carvajal, and of course big man Thibaut Courtois, who is a 6'7", 6'6", I don't know, he's 6'6", I think. Goalkeeper, we've got Hazard, Rodrigo, Camavinga, Tchouameni, Lunin, Vasquez, Rudiger. Of course, you've got some really good players on the, well, in the reserves, I should say. So yeah, so that's the more or less the team that I've gone with. Of course, we are sticking with the false 9 system. What I have done here is, though, Luka Modric, I've moved him up slightly, so he's not kind of in line. He looks like he's in line with Kroos, but he's not. He's not really a cam, but his position is kind of going to be a cam, if that makes sense. So yeah, just move him up just a little bit, but make sure he maintains the CM role. If that, you know, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so as for tactics, we've got it set on press on loss of possession. So, you know, lose the ball, press, counter press, everything. That's what the really good teams do these days, and that's what Real Madrid tend to do very well. They tend to work really well without the ball, which has not really been a theme of Real Madrid. I mean, under Zidane, they always had the ball and stuff, but under Ancelotti, they've kind of accepted the fact that they're not always going to have the ball, they're not always going to be winning the possession battle, but they will do a good job defensively, and that's with the counter pressing of press after loss of possession. As for width, we've got it set on 20. You want to keep it narrow, you want to keep your wing backs narrow with your centre backs, and then essentially your Casemiro and your two wingers will help defensively as well. As for depth, we've got it set on 65, so they do have a very high line that they play. Militao is very quick, as well as Alaba. He's one of the quickest centre backs in the game, so you can afford to give your opponent that extra yard because you know you're going to catch them. So yeah. As for offense, we've got it on slow build up and possession. Of course, Madrid, they do like to maintain the ball. I'm not saying that they don't, but they do like to have it, but they don't always have it, if you get what I'm saying. Of course, Kroos and Modric and Casemiro, they're aging, so they can't always be the full steam pressing engine that they used to be. But yes, so slow build up and possession play, of course. We've got it set on 25, so your players like Vinicius and Valverde, they're going to be very narrow to Benzema, which allows Benzema to actually be a bit more productive in the build up play. Like, he can exchange more passes with his fellow teammates, and he just does a better job, in my opinion. That's why I've got it set on 25. Players in the box, though, we've got it set on 8. Of course, the Champions League final goal, Valverde smashes it across the face of goal. Van Dijk is nowhere to be found, and neither is Trent, and that allowed Vinicius to run in on the back post and smash it in for a 1-0 win in Champions League number 14. So, yeah, so we've got it set on 8, and that is why. Corners, we've got it set on 4. You want to commit a few more players more forward than normal, and as well for free kicks. I mean, for free kicks, you could possibly leave it on 3, but I've got it set on 4. It just, Real Madrid are always imposing themselves on their opponents, and that's probably why I've put it on 4. So yeah, as for the instructions, we're going to start off with the big man, the goalkeeper. We've got him set on come for crosses, and in terms of saving outside the box, he's not really a good sweeper keeper, but he does a job. But I've got it set on balanced, so yeah. As for your two centre backs, kind of set on the exact same thing, keep them on normal. For Alaba, you can probably tell him to get forward, but then it just creates a lot of issues. So if you're playing a lower ranked team, then by all means tell Alaba get forward, because Casemiro will definitely slot in and help out defensively. But I have him set on normal for now. As for Mendy and Carvajal, set on the exact same instructions. Join the attack and overlap, and that is it. You want them running past your wingers firing crosses, especially for this right hand side. As you can see there, we've got him set on join the attack and overlap, because Valverde, even though he's playing as the right wing, he's actually not really a winger. He just does a good job in the wide areas. Moving on to Casemiro eventually, we've got him set on cut passing lanes, stay back when attacking, and cover centre. So you want him more or less patrolling that little half circle area, this gap between Alaba and Militao. Brilliant player, does a great job, probably the best CDM in the world, and yeah, he's a really good player. Yeah, so now we move on to Kroos. Kroos has a very different role to what Luka Modric has. Like I said, Luka Modric kind of has that cam role, and you'll see shortly why. But as for Toni Kroos, you got him set on stay back when attacking, and also stay on the edge of the box. So he's kind of going to be your deep lying playmaker. Some might say that the Pirlo role that is prime Toni Kroos, and we've got him set on free roam. So he's going to hang back with Casemiro, but he's going to have more license to do what he wants. To the ability to spray those passes, hit Vinicius, hit Benzema, potentially hitting Valverde or Luka Modric. You know, it can be one of those. So yeah. And then as for Luka Modric, we've got him set on balanced, stay on the edge of the box, and free roam. So he's kind of not going to come back on defense all the time. Of course, we've got the great defensive abilities of Casemiro and Alaba and so on. But he's kind of going to be your free roaming number 10 that's still a cam. So he's more of an advanced number 8, some might say. So yeah, he does a really good job as well. Now, moving on to the right hand side, we've got Valverde, who's a right winger but slots in kind of into the midfield. So it kind of creates a midfield diamond, if some might say, with Valverde set on comeback on defense, balanced, so balanced width, and then come short. So you want him running into ball to feet moments, kind of cutting inside to the midfield, and getting a bit more involved in the midfield play, midfield battle. And of course, just defensively, Valverde is elite. So if you're coming up against a Barcelona who have got some really good wide players, Valverde on that side is going to do a really good job for you. He's going to defend, he's going to make sure that player has a very hard game. Kind of like the Ander Herrera of Manchester United from a few years ago, where you would tell him to mark a player and then he would mark that player out the game. But the next set of instructions is get into the box. So you do want him to get into the box for potentially the Vinicius cross or the Mendy cross. And then, of course, aggressive interception. So you want him pressing from the front. He's kind of that guy who's going to lead the press with Benzema from the front. Speaking of Benzema, we got him set on stay central. Of course, you can have him on drift wide, but then you don't get the focal point in the offense. Could set him as a target man, could set him as a false nine, could tell him to get him behind. But the thing is with Benzema, because he's the world's best striker currently, and that's a fact, he just does everything so well. So that's why I have him on mixed, and then balanced or just the basic defensive support, as well as normal interceptions. As for Vinicius Jr., of course, he had an outstanding season last year. 20 goals, 20 assists, I think, across the entire season, which is incredible. And I think he's only 21 or 22, so just a great talent. But we've got him set on comeback on defense. Of course, both wingers will come back on defense and help support the defense. That is how Carlo Ancelotti likes to play. We've seen that over the many, many years that he has been in charge of major football teams. Cut inside, of course, he is the other threat, the other goal-scoring threat in this team. Get him behind, of course, he's got that mad sprint speed, mad pace, mad acceleration. Of course, get into the box, and that is that. So yeah, that is my Real Madrid tactics. Of course, guys, please hit the like button down below, subscribe if you are new to the channel, and of course, I hope you have the most outstanding damn day. I'm out.